So good day, sir. Me and my group mates will talk about the different main engine safety devices and what is engine safety device. So the main engine safety devices are provided in the system to safeguard the main engine in case of any damage in the system. Mainly are fitted in the engine when all the alarms and trips fails to work. Then the last means for safeguarding the engine and components is this safety devices fitted in the main engine. So these are mainly of the types of pressure relief valve which releases or release the excess pressure built in case of malfunctioning of the engine, and no actions is well in advance to rectify or to avoid the situation. So first we have the first safety device, which is the crankcase relief door. So as you can see, the crankcase relief valve or door consists of a light spring that holds the valve closely against its seats. So the whole arrangement is enclosed in a cover which is tightly bolted from all the sides. The assembly is mounted on the door of the crankcase. On the outside of the valve is a deflector is fitted which safeguards the personnel from escaping pressurized gases. On the inside of the engine, we have an oil-wetted gas axe as a flame trap to prevent any flame leaving the crankcase. So with the pressure inside the crankcase so the valve raises, compressing the spring. So the excess pressure is released to the atmosphere. The oil-wetted gas assembly prevents the flame in the crankcase from escaping. So and then the valve closes automatically under the tension and action of spring once the pressure reduces.
So next is the oil mist detector. So the oil mist detectors is used to protect large diesel, gas, and dual fuel engines of all applications. They protect against heavy consequential damage due to oil mist explosions, a result of overheating of bearings or moving parts. The oil mist detector is the essential device fitted on marine diesel engines for the safety of the engines. So, oil mist detector will check and monitor the mist in the crankcase. So, this oil mist detector is located at the crankcase of the main engine. So, it detects the oil mist inside the crankcase. So, what is oil mist and how is this formed? So oil mist is an oil droplets suspended in the air. So oil mist may form when high pressure of fuel oil, lubricating oil, hydraulic oil, or other oil that is sprayed through a narrow crack, or when leak oil connects with high temperature surface, vaporizes, and comes in contact with low air temperature. So oil mist ignites at low temperatures and can cause severe damage such as an engine room fires. So an oil mist detector is installed in the crankcase to prevent the explosion from happening.
Now, relief valves are safety devices used to control or limit the pressure in a system that might otherwise build up and create a process upset, instrument or equipment failure, or fire. The pressure is relieved by allowing the pressurized fluid to flow from an auxiliary passage out of the system. It is designed or set to open at a predetermined set pressure to protect the pressure vessels and other equipment from being subjected to pressures that exceed their design limits. Now going back, the two examples are the scavenge space relief valve and relief valve for starting air. First, the scavenge space relief valve. It is used to extinguish the fire in the scavenge space as it decreases the pressure inside the scavenge space. Now, the scavenge space is a space in a two-stroke diesel engine that is used for scavenge air being supplied by the auxiliary blower or turbocharger, then goes to the combustion chamber. Fire can happen in this space due to the presence of oxygen, heat, and fuel from unburnt fuel, carbon or lubrication oil that has leaked into the space. That is why a scavenge space relief valve is installed to extinguish the fire by relieving pressure, also by following the other steps in extinguishing the scavenge fire. Lastly, the starting air relief valve. It is used to prevent explosion on the starting air line by also relieving excess air pressure. It can be looked at as a safeguard of the starting air system as it protects it from overpressure.
Next is safety valve for cylinder head. So, safety valve. So, our cylinder head needs protection. So, dili lang day siya need og protection ng ato po dahil cylinder head. So, what is this valve that protects our cylinder head? So, this valve is called cylinder relief valve. So, what is cylinder relief valve? So, cylinder relief valve is a protective device fitted on the top of cylinder head that protects the engine and its surrounding from unprecedented damage from overpressure. So what is unprecedented? So ang unprecedented, so actually you can hear this word from election sa rally, di ba? Nagkabatiin tayo tanan sa sikat kini sa una. Unprecedented joke lang tayo. balik. So, ano siya, cylinder head, the main objective of the cylinder head is to protect our cylinder from overpressure, the excess pressure. So, this cylinder relief valve is a mounting installed, so to ensure safety. So the main objective of this is to for the overpressure, so excess pressure between 10 to 20% excess pressure. So what is the working principle of this safe cylinder head relief valve? So this relief valve is like a safety valve, so it has also spring disc. So as the pressure exists above the working pressure, so above its working pressure or the set pressure of our relief valve, so our disc will start to lift. So as the disc start to lift, the spring also start to compress. So what is the purpose of the spring? So the purpose of the spring is that if the normal working pressure will be back to normal or will be attained, so the spring will push balik siya ang disc so to its original position. So again, the purpose of the safety relief valve is to protect our cylinder head from overpressure, because if it will not protected, so our cylinder head will be damaged. So basin mag-crack or mga guba na itong maguba ato cylinder head, then makakakuan siya. Its effect is leak, and more fuel consumption means more fuel consumption, so more cost, then ilis dan guba, more money to spend. So ato na siya likayan para mahitabo. So that's why our cylinder head, so there is safety valve installed in our cylinder head to protect it from overpressure. Flame arrestor. So flame arrestor, sometimes called flashback arrestor or spilled arrestor, is SPELT. So it is a safety device fitted to the opening of an enclosure or to the connecting pipework of a system of enclosure, and whose intended function is to allow flow but prevent the transmission of flame. So what do you mean by this line, to allow flow but prevent the transmission of flame? So I will discuss it later on. So but first, here is the diagram of flame arrestor. So as you can see, flame arrestor has its parts, so just look at to the diagram. So flame arrestor, what is flame arrestor? So flame arrestor, taking the concept of as explosion flame travel to a narrow metal space, the energy of the flame will be absorbed by the metal, surrounding metal, so it will be arrested, flame arrestor. So by that, so as the flame goes on to the narrow metal space, only the gas will flow in the direction. So there is no flame anymore that can spread, that will go to the engine or the system, that may spread and will cause explosion that will lead to casualties and death if it will worst. So this line allow flow but prevent the transmission of flame. So yeah, as the flame will travel to a narrow metal space, so there is a flow, but only the gas, there is no flame anymore, because the flame is arrested in the surrounding metal. It is arrested by surrounding, but there is a flow but only gas. So that's why it allow flow but prevent the transmission of flame. So it prevent the transmission of flame, only gas. So actually this flame arrestor is like a filter. So it had been engineered. So ang engineer na construct ani, so with the exact length and width. So it is like a filter to restrict the flame from scattering inside the engine or in the system. So you can see different flame arrestor. So like in sa mga tank, so usually this flame arrestor walang ni siya sa engine, na po ni siya sa mga tangke, sa atmospheric tank, sa gasol sa mga tangke. So this to prevent outside fire. So if na fire na sa mga pipe works, so na fire, so dili siya mudakop sa sod ng buto. So yang i-arrest ang fire na dili siya mo adto sa atong tangke. So that is flame arrestor. Actually this flame arrestor has 3 types, so I will not mention it anymore. I will not dig, because the topic is all about flame arrestor. What is flame arrestor?
Turning gear interlock is a valve that will not allow starting air to operate the system when the turning gear is engaged. So a turning gear also is located at the adjacent movable carriage that supports a driven gear train that is selectively engageable with the rotoring gear. So the turning gear interlock is another important thing that prevents the admission of starting air to the engine cylinders when the turning gear is engaged. If the starting air is admitted with the turning gear engaged, the turning gear and the motor will fly off, puncturing the bulkhead. Thus, the interlock is necessary to prevent such accidents. Running direction interlock. Running direction interlock prevents the engine to be started in a reverse direction until all cam rollers of the fuel pump have shifted. So, interlocks are the blocking devices that ensure that the engine is started or reversed only when some conditions are fulfilled or satisfied. A running direction interlock is an essential trait that prevents the injection of fuel to the engine. When the telegraph doesn't synchronize with the running direction of the engine, it is an important application in crash maneuvering. When the starting air is used to apply brakes on the engine by reversing the operation. That's all, sir, for my report, and thank you for watching our video.